Okay. Hi, today we have Robert from Sweden. We'll talk about YouTube, Flutter, other things about development. How are you, Robert?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. I'm fine. I have half an hour, so I think this will be very, very
Yeah.
relaxing chatting. I'm really happy to know you because we haven't interacted that much. Let's say
No,
this.
not
So
really.
so this is really, I think, in my opinion, it's really a good opportunity to know each other. So I'd like to know a little bit more about you. I've seen
Yeah.
that you have a very good YouTube channel. You have had a good growth in 2020. I
Yeah.
wish you the best for 2021, but
Thanks.
let's start from the beginning. Yeah.
Yeah. So like I think it was like late 2018 or maybe middle of 2018. I started developing a bit in Flutter because I saw like the release video of Flutter. So I didn't really know about it until then. And when I started, it was like there was like no content of Flutter at all. I think it was like one under channel or something like that. But most of it, when I tried to like find something, because I was pretty new to like development in general at that time. So I tried to like the most of the things that I learned was mostly from other YouTube videos or small pieces of documentation. And luckily back then, like the documentation was super great as it is
Nice.
still now. But then the videos was like lacking. It was not that many videos. So I thought like, yeah, I always wanted to make videos in some kind of way. When I was young, I wanted to try like making gaming videos or whatever. But I never really got.
A dream.
Yeah, I
When
really
you were a
never got
child.
into it because I was like very, what is it called? I didn't want to be in front of the camera at all.
Shy,
Yeah,
introvert.
yeah, yeah.
As you
Very introverted in that way. Yeah.
understand that, yeah.
So when I made my first video, I still remember it. So I tried to like click record. I couldn't record, and then I just redid it over and over, like multiple days or hours. I don't really know how I actually completed that first video.
I understand. I understand you pretty
Yeah,
well. Trust me. Yeah, but yeah, this is one of the questions that I do the most. So thank you
yeah.
for telling this. Yeah, please.
So like after that first video, then it got a bit easier, and then I just wanted to like, because when I made that first video, I want to have it as a goal because I want to reach, I think it was like 1,000 followers of some kind. So I didn't like tell anyone about what I did on the side except for my girlfriend back then. So no family members, nobody knew that I want to do this. So I just kept doing it, like 2 videos or something like that a week. And then when I reached, I think it was like 6,000 subscribers. When I reached that, I told a bit more people. And then I got like this, I don't know if it's confirmation bias, something like that. Like people started recognizing it. And I was like, yeah, now I'm done pretty much. And then I started to get like super inconsistent, more like, okay, I don't have really the energy to make a video this week. I will make it next week. And then like I had this bunch like, so like that like 0 to 6,000 subscribers went quite quickly for me. But then I was like super inconsistent and it slowed down. I got to like, I think it was 15,000 about like, I think it took longer than getting to 6,000. And when I got to 15,000, then I took another break. And then back a couple of months, then I really started taking it up again. And now, yeah, being consistent really works out.
Yeah, I think, in my opinion, first of all, you are doing great because you are at how much you are now at 22.
Yeah, I think it's 22 or 23 soon.
Yeah, so yeah, 10 times better than me, so for sure, for example. But in my opinion, everybody has their story. So I think there is nothing wrong with that. You don't need to feel guilty. I've seen also, I like that you have a topic on your channel, for example. I'm also still working on that, for example. And so, and why do you think that you have these moments? Sometimes maybe you just, I don't know, maybe you don't have an idea or you don't have maybe time, maybe
like
you go on priorities.
I really don't know, to be honest, because I have time. It's it's like not a problem of time as like the problem comes when like, so I have to come up with an idea, and just the biggest problem I get is just coming up with that starting idea. When I got an idea, then I think it's really fun to work on the video and create a project and stuff like that.
Okay.
And I usually don't plan ahead that much. So it's usually like, okay, I need to make a video tomorrow, so I have to come up with an idea today. And then that's what really like brings it down. And then I'm like, I don't really want to come up with an idea today. I want to do something else today. And then that kind of snowballs until I get back like more passion for it, and I like take time to actually come up with multiple ideas, and then I make all of them.
Yeah,
it's like I don't really have a reason for it. It's just that I used to get out of that flow pretty much. And I tried to figuring out to make it more like consistent, and that's one of my like goals for 2021. Is just being like keeping consistent and making at least one video a week. Yeah,
because I think that maybe you had some periods when you publish more video.
Yeah.
When you are super active, which is your rate, or do you publish once per week?
Once per week usually now. When I started out, I did 2 a week. And that really like burned me out quite quickly, and that's when I got took the first break pretty much.
I think that if you distribute your videos in a better way, you will be twice better. I think because for example, I'm doing, for example, 1 videos per day, but also it is super time consuming for me. Maybe it will be better maybe to publish once per week or one every 2 days. But now I've chosen to do this because I'm still in the beginning. So everybody has, as I said, the story. But I think that you are doing great. And so So what about thank you. What are you currently doing now? So now in 2021, you have just started. Do you have some ideas for this year? It's good in January to think about, to plan maybe for.
Like the most like usually for. I started a new job pretty much, so that's one main thing. So before I worked at Volvo, so a very big company, and it was very strict to working at the company, which took a lot of time of my spare time. So I didn't have that much time to actually work on the videos, because when I got home, it was pretty late every day. So most of the times was putting it into the weekend. So now when I started my new job, it's remote completely. So I start working a lot earlier, and then I can stop working earlier, and then I can work more like every day.
Yeah, the commitment time is transferred to YouTube. I think so. That's great.
So that usually frees up a lot of time. So now I actually been able to plan more. So now my plan for like 2021 is just being consistent for that 1 video a week. My goal is to have 52 videos this year. Hopefully I can complete it. Like that's the main goal. And then I have like plans for making courses and stuff like that as well. It's just that it's very hard to find like the time and energy to actually create those, because courses take so much time to create.
Yeah, but I've never started even to create some courses. I don't think I don't know. I still don't know if I'll release one this year or next year. Maybe more next year, because I had here a lot of people, and I see that they used a lot of times. Some of them they stopped to work to create some course. Maybe a very great one, but they need to stop for 6 months, 4 months. So So now
like the main problem I've seen with the YouTube space is that it's very hard to make. For example, courses are usually multiple videos or longer videos. That takes a lot more time, and engagement rate is not high at all for those to put them out on video like YouTube. So it's like either I make a video which is shortened down to 10 minutes that like tries to push as much, like reach as big of an audience as possible and help as many as possible. And that's like really great, but courses don't perform, or videos or series don't perform like good at all on YouTube. And then the rate of what you earn on them is like, it's minimal for the time you put in. So it's like, it's either for me at least, that the time I have, it's either put into creating a video a week, and then maybe I can get some side time to make courses, but that's like things I'm trying to still figure out.
Yeah, we just have 24 hours, and we also have lives. So sometimes it's hard. For example, in my opinion, it's also very hard now that I'm creating content to also watch content, study, watch the content of my friends. So yeah, also I need to dedicate maybe the Sundays to that because it's very time consuming. Maybe I can understand you a little bit, but but I think that you are doing maybe your problem is just this, maybe because if you stop for example for a couple of weeks, months, maybe some people could think maybe you are just sleeping instead. Maybe you are just working harder. This is also the same problem of socials. If you are not social, people could think that you are just sleeping. Maybe it could be the opposite. Maybe it's the opposite sometimes.
So like it's either I spend that time to making a video a week, and like these are like the main things that I'm debating, because a lot of people still want some kind of course from me. So it's either I spend one video a week, which I pretty much committed to now, which I want to do, or I can spend take 4 months off, not creating any YouTube videos and just creating course. But that's like what I actually want to do. Then that's the hard part to actually decide.
Yeah. Let me make you a question. Have you ever thought about, for example, I don't know, maybe record maybe 2, 3, 4 videos and then publish once per week, or you just create a video and publish that and then you start on another one?
So pretty much when I started 4 months or 3 months back, when I actually started picking up YouTube again, I did a couple of videos. I had a backlog of videos. I think I had 3 or 2 weeks ahead. But then for every week that went, one video pretty much took let's put it one video pretty much took 7 days and 1 hour and stuff like that. So every week I got behind one video, or not every week, but every other month, one video was gone from the backlog. And now I had 2 videos. And then 2 months later, now I had 1 video in the backlog. So now I'm pretty much super tight in videos again. So I have to figure out that again.
Yeah. For example, it's something that I don't know. I don't know if everyone can do this, because, for example, I've had here a lot of people who just, for example, Adrian Tuareg, I don't know if you know him, he just create a video, then publish that, and then he starts working on another one. So I don't know. It depends. For someone, it works. Now that I'm doing, for example, this kind of just calling video interviews, I don't need to edit that too much. I can have maybe 2 or some days ahead. But for example, I've never done a backlog of technical videos. I've just created one and then published that when I did that. So I don't know. Maybe we need to plan a little bit more. Sometimes it's even hard because our technologies, maybe it evolves so fast that if you create that 2 months earlier, in 2 months it's already outdated. So
a lot of actually a lot of videos that I create, I have to really look into it. Is sometimes I make videos on packages they use, or open source projects that I use in my Flutter projects. So a lot of the times when I make videos trying to explain that, I have to check the issues and pull requests, because it was very close. So one package that I tried to make a video on, they had a pull request open, and in the middle of the video, I noticed I actually saw that pull request because I didn't see it before, and it was going from version 3 to 4, and they had a bunch of reworks of the whole package. So I just had to scrap that half video and then just remake everything 1 or 2 weeks after.
Yeah, and I think that you were very happy to do that.
Would be a shame 1 week after.
But I think that in that case, you were the very first one with version 4. I think at least that on YouTube, at least you put that in the thumbnail, updated the video, maybe. I don't know. So I don't know. This is almost a joke, but this is what happened. For example, So thank you. So about creating content. Do you create just videos? Do you create other type of contents?
So what I want to do, and I try to do it, is that I want to make a blog post for every video. So I'm working.
Yes.
So I'm working pretty much on the side as well to create and set up a website. And I have a big like pull request for actually having like support for blog posts and stuff like that with Next.js.
Nice.
So everything is almost set up. It's just that like some small things that I have to work out.
Nice.
So when that's done, I will try to create like a blog post for every video, and that's the goal at least.
Yeah.
And then that's like those are probably taking all of the time, and then I don't have any more time to work on other things.
Okay. So it is good that I had you already now, because maybe in 2 weeks, you will see. We will check you, of course. We put all the links in the description of your channel. I suggest to subscribe to his channel if you want to learn Flutter. There is also other stuff, because you do mainly Flutter, or do you do also other
Like,
things?
I mainly do Flutter. I want to do small other things as well. I really like getting into design a bit more. Like when I first started with Flutter, I was really terrible at making UIs. So during that time, I also learned design like separately or parallel. So that's one thing that I want to get into more. But I have to find that motivation to do this as well.
Okay, so there is hope to get better at design. So thank you for giving me hope, because this is one of the goals of my 2021. Because I think that I'm pretty bad at design, but because I like the backend part, the Docker part, DevOps. When I get into the front end design, I can do that, but sometimes I need to super simple ideas.
Yeah,
but I want to improve in that field.
Like I remember when I was during my education, I like front end on web was like the thing that I hated the most, like styling with CSS and HTML, and I was on top of that very bad at designing as well. So when I passed those classes because I was able to implement everything with CSS and HTML, but the sites look really horrible. And then when I made apps, that didn't really change. I still made horrible designs. So I try to follow as many designers as possible on like Twitter. It was one person, I can't remember his name. Maybe I can send it to you afterwards and you can put it in the description. He had like small like blog post of like small tips on design, where like, you can add white spacing on this. And they showed like before and after pictures. And a lot of those, like I just added it and worked on it. And until like after that, I got all of the fundamentals and design. And then like the designs just went to a whole new like level. And it was like, then it started to become actually fun to making like front end stuff.
Yeah, and I think that in design we really need also maybe some super basic tips. But for example, for me, it would be really gold in my opinion, because maybe saying for example, I don't know, add some little spaces. For example, I think that for expert, maybe I don't know, it's not that good to go this, because they are obvious, or maybe are not obvious for me. So maybe So I think that I really need this kind of pretty beginner level tips.
I will actually I found it, so I will add it to the chat, and you can see it as well. And if you want to show it, it depends. But anyway, like those are like simple designs.
Refactoring UI. Refactoring UI. Yeah, I've heard about that.
So I considered a lot of the times to actually buy his book, and I probably will do it in the future as well. But like he has posted like small snippets of his book. And all of those, like combining all of those and just making some simple YouTube searches on design and stuff like that, all of those like gave me a super good baseline for designing. And then it became really fun to design.
Perfect. In my opinion, I say this like for a lover of Docker and backend Node. Maybe the design and front end, sometimes it's also maybe, I don't know, maybe more beautiful to show to people. It's easier. Maybe also you can make a very good post. I never publish maybe some screenshot of some Docker compose. It doesn't have that much sense. Maybe it has sense for me, but not for a lot of people. So maybe a good, I'm joking, maybe a good design, it's easier. Maybe it has a different impact, a visual impact on the people. So I think this is if you want to learn everything, or at least to know something about every topic of the stack. So thank you. I need to work on that. But
I find it really interesting sometimes, because when you hate parts, like let's say you don't like design at all, or you don't like backend, what I found out mostly, for at least myself, is that when I don't like them, it's when I'm pretty bad at them. And when I improve at them, then when I actually find it really fun to actually work on.
Yeah,
So,
and I think that you can say that the same thing about making videos, making blog posts, playing some sport. I think it has a strong relation. If you are bad, you don't want to do that. Of course, it's a circle. Instead, you just do the opposite. A good circle. Just maybe starting with something simple, something very small. And that's it. And of course, in my opinion, now that I'm a little bit more social this year, if you manage to do that in public, it's better for you. For example, if you do that, for example, during a live stream, if you do, for example, a small video about that, it's also useful for you, because you create content about that, even if you're not a super expert. I think that this could be a really good idea. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. So what about the socials that you use? Where can we follow you if you use them? Because I've seen, for example, on Twitter you have let's say a medium account, not that big account compared to your YouTube audience, of course. So what can you say about your use of socials?
So usually my main way of reaching me is either like comment on YouTube. I try to like answer everything on YouTube.
Nice.
So I have like, of course, there's some small comments that I miss all the time, but I try to like answer all of the comments I get. That's like one of the main goals when I started the YouTube at all.
And YouTube has this great feature that you can see the comment you haven't responded yet. I need that feature also on Twitter. Maybe I will not manage to use that, but it would be great to have something like that.
And then sorry. And then like the other one is probably Twitter. I try to like answer everything on Twitter as well. But now like I've gotten so many, like a lot of people asking questions both on Twitter, YouTube, and they find me like everywhere. So I have like a Facebook group as well and a Discord. So they ask there, and now they have found me on Telegram as well. So like I have so many different channels where people ask me questions. So I try to make it like the main ones are probably the YouTube channel and Twitter. And then if you like want a conversation more, then I have my own Discord.
One question: have you ever thought about, or have you ever done a video about this kind of question? So maybe you bundle that in a video and you make maybe a Q&A, or you haven't never done like this?
I thought about doing like Q&As, but I always come back to, are people interested in hearing this? Or should I just make a video where I know people are interested in, because that's what I'm interested in? But I thought like I had ideas of making Q&As. It's just that I haven't really thought about if it's interesting or how I can make it interesting pretty much.
Okay, but also, although I don't know, for example, you can do this, for example, in a live stream, I don't know. So at least you don't have to edit that after. This is a very great advantage. I've done this kind of stuff, for example. Sometimes I've also invited, for example, other people. So we can also be in two people, for example, to answer questions. So and meanwhile you can talk like we are doing now, but with questions in chat. It's a different format. This is just this is more about you. You can a little bit more, and so So can you tell a little bit more just about yourself, for example? I don't know, your work.
I live in Sweden, and like. What's interesting about me? I don't know. No, but like I wasn't into development at all to begin with. I didn't find like programming and design and anything of that interesting at all to me. So like during school and growing up, I really found it like fun to build computers and network. Like then not network talking to people, but network setting up computer networks and stuff like that. So I found all of those things super fun. So I did that like all of the time. I built my own computers, helped friends to build computers, Nice. And then like over time, I really found it fun to teach others. like to teach other build computers and teach other about hardware and stuff like that.
Nice.
So after like, I don't know if it's high school or after high school. When you're like 15 years old to 18 years old at least, we have like a school for 3 years. And during that time, I really found it fun to like teach other about hardware and anything related to that. So I started working as pretty much a substitute teacher or substitute tutor or however you call it.
Okay.
And I taught those things. But then after a while, I kind of found it a bit boring to teach hardware over and over again, because they are like sure it's changing, but the main principles are pretty much the same all the time. And I wanted to have like a bit more of a changing or variable in my environment.
And I think that if you went into software, you have enough changes, maybe too much, maybe too much, but maybe now you're happy.
So my brother always was like interested in programming, and he was already programming when I didn't like it at all, pretty much. So we want to make a game, me and my friend, on Unity. And
I've started using Unity again, and I started coding with Unity. So if you want, I like this that topic.
So we wanted to like make some kind of small game. We didn't publish anything; it was just for fun. But I couldn't program, so the only thing that I did, and my friend couldn't program at all either. It was just my brother programming. So so if you worked in like Unity or some kind of game engine, most of the things you do is pretty much programming, and then you make like animations and stuff like that. But the whole start of things is just programming from zero to getting something to work pretty much. So he was doing all of that, and I was just like making a map pretty much, until he said like, you have to help me doing the programming, because that's pretty much everything right now. So at that time I was like, okay. So I started like looking at a bunch of if you've seen like Brackeys on YouTube.
I love him.
Yeah. He had like a basic C# course. I think it was like 14 episodes or something like that.
I've started programming with Brackeys and another YouTuber. So I understand you perfectly. This is a little bit unexpected. This is also why I like to do this kind of interviews. Because I think that I've been following Brackeys from the beginning, from before he started to show himself on videos.
Same.
Like this in the bottom. Brackeys is really super. I don't know if I ever managed to talk to him, but this is unexpected. Please go on. Let's go on like, this 5 minutes.
I found his videos super fun, but I didn't understand anything. So I was like, okay, I have to learn programming. So I found these like C# episode videos. And I've been thinking of doing something like that myself, because that's what really got me into it. So I'm hoping like others can get into it as well. But like it was like 14 episodes or 15 episodes just to get into the basics of C#. And I think I watched that like 5 or 6 times to just understand like the super basics. And at that time, I still didn't understand lists at all. And I think I made a tweet about this. Like the hardest thing in programming for me was understanding when to use a list. And like looking back at it now, I can't understand why I thought list was the hardest, but that's what like
for now. That is for now. For example, I loved the multiplayer series. Brackeys. I watched that many times. But this I started. I want to say something because I didn't want to interrupt you, but I built my own PC some days ago. I have a Ryzen 9 now, so I like to do that, and also I'm getting into Unity again. I did that yesterday. Yesterday I went not on socials because I stayed all day by trying to setting up things again. So I don't know. And as you said, maybe this can be for fun. For example, I'd like to maybe create something when maybe you have a backend and also a Unity application. I like, for example, the mobile part. So there is a lot of work to do.
But I think like Unity and any kind of where you see that you're actually, when you're starting out programming, I think anything that makes you do some kind of programming and you see a result, So Unity is like a great example of this. You make a character move, you make something move on the screen.
Yeah.
So
I don't know if it's the best way to
no.
start, but for example, it was for me. I can say this if you want to listen to that. I was a computer science student, but I didn't like to code. So I was kind of lost because I liked math algorithms, and then when I get into coding, I really didn't like how they teach something. So one day I started at home alone and trying to, and I started with Unity because as you said, I wanted to do something funny. So I wanted to start really to code it. This was 2015. So I understand you perfectly. I don't know if we can do something together in Unity for fun. Maybe one day in 2021, maybe we can do that if you want, just for fun without any. It will be very great. As you said, this can be a way to start. Maybe the best way is to start maybe with HTML, CSS. We have also here.
I just think like the best way to start is just find something that you're interested in and like if it's something you want to do, if it's you want to do a website or you want to make a game or you want to make an app, you start with that part and just learn like on the way. That's like really motivating, so you can see results. Because making like one thing that made me really like the Brackeys series on C# was that we did like the console. I think it was like a console application where he related everything to Unity, where you make like, do you have a character and you do damage and you can block damage and you can heal up and stuff like that, and it made it like really interactive. And I found it like super fun to learn that way, and you can really see like, okay, a class can be represented with a soldier or whatever. Like anything that relates and you can see a like feedback loop. Those are like super great ways to learn.
For example, for me, I'm not scared to do something hard. Maybe the opposite. I like to do something hard, but I really need to do something interesting. Otherwise, I get bored. So maybe we are similar in some ways. I like this. For example, also for me, people say that I am very consistent. Maybe also with making videos. Maybe lately I have been, but I need to force me a little bit. For example, with challenges with something. Maybe you can try, because, for example, it's a bit hard. But maybe if you try to challenge, so to announce that, maybe you are basically committing to do that. So maybe this could be a hard way to do that, because if you fail, people can laugh at you.
That was my goal of like making a video where I actually announced that I will make 51 videos. I really don't want to
do that. I'll support you if you are brave enough. I'll support you in this. If you want, you think about that maybe a couple of weeks. But you can try, because people could get interested. It's like it's a sort of a pact with your audience, that I'll release something. For example, I have actually do two. I have this 100, and then I'll do one live stream per week. 100 live streams once per week. So I am at the fourth week. So maybe you can interact with the audience. Of course, if you fail, there will be some. You need to delete your Twitter account. So,
delete everything, disappear.
I don't know, but in my opinion, it's fun. It's fun. You can try. If you want, send me a message. I can help you. If you make some videos like that, I would love to watch that. That's it, Robert. So thank you so much. It has been really great to have you here. I asked you if you know Thomas Weibenfolk, which is from Sweden. I'll suggest you to be connected with him, because maybe you both don't use Twitter that much, but I also see that you are super friendly. So I don't know, maybe it could be an idea to be connected with him. He does other kind of stuff, or videos. But so that's it, Robert. Would you like to maybe to leave a message to people that are watching, so we can end this?
So like
before we leave,
I don't care if people follow me or anything like that. I just want to, if you have a goal that you want to learn programming or anything like that, I just wanted to pursue that goal, find something that you find interesting and just do it, pretty much. Like, if you find fun to make applications, then follow people that make applications. If you find it fun to design, follow people that make you like motivated to design, and like do what makes you want to create stuff, pretty much.
Yeah, Robert, I'm really happy because I really feel very similar to you in some of the ways I think. So please stay connected a little bit, also on Twitter and other ways. I'm really happy about that. Yeah. So yeah, best luck with anything with 2021, your content. Yeah. Thank you so much. I'm really happy. You've also reminded me by 2015 when I was coding alone, watching Brackeys tutorials. I had here one of the YouTubers that I followed his tutorial on Unity on 2015 on Unity. The name was GTGD. And I've seen it was not that famous, but I really liked his voice, his way of tutorials, and it was I was super happy to also have him here to interview him. Yeah, I needed that. I think that I need to send a message to Brackeys, but I don't think that he will answer me, but we can at least try. Yeah. So thank you so much. Very great call. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.